Welcome to my channel, Flip for Tips. In this video, I'll be showing you everything you need to know about your Monoprice Select Mini 3D Printer version 2. To start, I will teach you how to add and change filament. Filament is the material that is used when making a 3D object. It comes in many types of versions and thicknesses, but I use generic PLA and it works very well. Your spool might have a different amount than mine, but it doesn't matter. The printer uses filament very efficiently. It is a good idea to preheat the nozzle first, and I will show you how to do that in the next section. To start, you should put a spool of filament on the side of your printer and cut the tip at a diagonal angle. Pull some slack on the filament and squeeze the feeding spool so that the filament can easily travel through the opening. Keep pushing until the filament can no longer go further. If your printer is finished preheating, navigate to the Move panel and click on the Extruder button. Turn the knob to the right a little bit at a time to extrude the filament. Do this approximately 10 times until you can see the filament coming out of the nozzle. Similar rules apply for changing the filament. Navigate to the Move panel and click on the Extruder button. Turn the knob to the left a little bit at a time to retract the filament. Do this until you can easily pull the strand out. In part 2, I'll be showing you the befores and afters of printing, which include preheating the printer and getting your print off of the bed. Once your filament is loaded, turn on the printer and use the twisty knob to navigate to the preheat panel by rotating and clicking. Set the nozzle temperature to 210 degrees and set the bed temperature to 60 degrees. Click to set the target at the shown temperature. It takes some time to preheat the printer, so I'd recommend doing this before you're ready. Then go back to the home screen and navigate to the Move panel. Turn the knob so that it is over Home and click on it. Your printer might already be here, but always do this before each print. I always have trouble moving it to Home before it is preheating, so this is why I do it afterwards. This is the end of the pre-steps you should complete before sending your print to the printer, whether it is through your SD card or a USB cord. Once your printer is done printing, you need to get the object off of the bed. The printer comes with a yellow tool with a pointy end, but it is not very useful for getting underneath the object. Instead, I use a sharper blade that is much more useful. Try to lift the print up from the bottom and from different sides of the object. Eventually, you'll be able to get a larger portion off of the bed. At this point, you'll be able to lift the whole print off with the yellow tool. All prints come with a base that is wider than the actual print, so you can always peel that off. Once you've peeled as much as you can off, you may need to use a blade to get through some of the small spaces. In part 3, I'll be showing you how to print your first print. This will be done with the SD card that came with your printer. Put the SD card into the side of your printer and make sure your printer is preheating. The preheat doesn't have to be exact, but it should be close to the target temperatures. Navigate to the print panel and click on the CAT G code. The print should automatically start from there. Never touch the nozzle because it is very hot. The bed is also very warm, but it will not burn you. This print will take about 2 hours. Eventually, the extruder will go back to the side and everything will start to cool off. At that point, you can turn the printer off. Congratulations for finishing your first print! In Part 4, I'll teach you how to print more things in a different way. To start, you should download Ultimaker Cura 4.0 and a version of Repetier Host. I'm using Repetier Host 1.1 since I'm using a MacBook Air, but you can choose the version that fits your computer. For this print, I'll be using a USB cord. Plug the thick end into your computer and plug the small end into the printer. First, you must download an STL file to your computer. There are many ways that you can find one, whether it is on a website or you made it yourself. For this video, I will find a pre-made file from Thingiverse.com. This is a website that lets you find things that other people made, post your own creations, customize things, and much more. I will just go with this gymnastics locker decoration. Scroll down to Thing Files and download what you want. If you download all files, you may end up with a folder that you have to find the specific STL. You may also end up with a zip file that you have to click on to get the folder. Download it to your desktop so that you are ready to start. Now open up Cura and go to Settings, Printer, Manage Printers. I have already done these steps, but you want to change the printer from an Ultimaker printer to the Monoprice printer. Go to Add a non-networked printer, and scroll down in the Custom tab to find the Monoprice Select Mini version 2 E3D. And then click Add. Then click on Machine Settings. My printer settings look like this, and my extruder settings look like this. Then go to Settings, Extruder 1, Material, and select the material that you will be using. I'm using generic PLA. Now open up Repetier and go to Printer Settings. Your settings should already match mine, but here they are in case they don't. Start preheating your printer now so that it is ready when you are. Go back to Cura and click on this button, or go to File, Open Files, or drag the STL in to get the STL on the build plate. I'm just going to drag it in. Cura will automatically slice the object. This means that it is preparing the object for printing by figuring out how the printer will print each layer. With the tools on the side, you can do many things to your object. When scaling and moving it, make sure that it stays flat and fits on the build plate. Go to the Prepare panel to see an animated view of what the printer will be doing, and also see each layer forming. When you are satisfied, click Save to File and rename it what you want. It will save as a G-code in the location that you have selected. Once you have a G-code, you can transfer it to your SD card, but I am going to be printing with my USB cord. For exporting your model to the printer through USB, I often use Repetier, but sometimes I can use Cura. I am not sure why, but sometimes the Save to File button will change to Print via USB, so then I can easily print from there in the Monitor panel. For now, I am just going to use Repetier. Close Cura and open up Repetier. Click on the Load G-code button and select the file that you just used. Click Open and it should appear on the build plate. Do not worry if it is not completely centered or if it is off of the bed. Make sure that your printer is preheated and then click Connect, and code should appear at the bottom. Then click Run. If the printer is not fully preheated, it might say that it is heating bed or heating extruder, but it should print when it is ready. Make sure that your computer has enough battery or is charging, and make sure that it never turns off. If it shuts down, your print will stop. You can do other things on your computer while it is printing, but do not mess with the software it is using to print. Since I am using Repetier, I can close Cura because it is not sending code to the printer. 3D printing can be a frustrating and long process, but I hope in the end that your prints work out very well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other videos. Bye!